Red Blood! So how do the races go down? Well, you got Barcia that comes out swinging second moto, like a one-night stand. He's got to get in, get on, and get out, and he ends up with an 8-3 for third overall. That's pretty freaking impressive, right? And then you got some of the other front runners. Kenny was all over Eli like silicone on a Kardashian, but he really needs to stop off after the races and find out Tomac's pharmacy to see where he gets all of his Viagra, because he seems to last freaking late into the moto. This guy's got a hard on the entire season. That's why he's gonna be champ. My predictions suck because I said Sexton was gonna win, and then I said Hunter was gonna win, and I got close in the 250 class, but you got Shimoto that come out into nowhere. I don't know what kind of drugs these guys are on, but everybody that is a lapper seems to be panting and sweating, and then you got the top few guys that seem to just be getting faster and faster. Like, oh yeah. Like, it's kind of crazy, right? Hypothetically speaking, of course, that these guys could just be incredible athletes that have larger hearts and bigger testicles than the rest of us. They're just born different. Just premium species. Different. It's not the Homo sapiens, it's the Moto sapiens out there that win in races. I do want to point out that I was incredibly impressed with Barcia qualifying 16th and then coming out swinging in that second moto. And also Ty Masterpool, dude, on a relatively privateer-ish ride, holding everybody up. Amazing. And because I'm just sporadic and all over the place, in the 450 class, because it's kind of the majority of what I'm talking about, is there was only a 9-second difference between first qualifying to 36, to like being in the motos without going to the Consi race. My buddy Kevin Moran's just barely missed it in qualifying, and then in the Consi race, just barely missed it again. You got Trevor Schmidt coming out hauling ass, winning the Consi race, and then you got Kevin finishing 5th. But one of the guys blew up their motor, so they had an opening, because that's how you can get into the motos is, you can be an alternative, right? An alternate is what they call it. And you could be 10th alternate, but if you go down to the moto and you're 10th in line, but the other 9 guys don't show up, you get that open gate. So as far as privateers out there, could be the slowest motherfucker around, AKA Johnny F. and Hopper, and show up there and just chill out and then just pray that, somebody has some misfortune. If we're talking about the track, they need to just make Larocco's Leap have a longer run to it, because people want to see everybody go off the leap. And it was really only the 450 guys that can jump it. The 250 guys, even factory 250s, they could not jump it. Granted, they have an inside that is a lot less area to travel, as opposed to some a-hole sweeping around the outside to try to jump the leap. You have a lot of ground that you're giving up by trying to jump it. And then if you can't jump it, well, you're kind of SOL. And maybe electric bikes might change this, because you'll have instant torque. But you won't sound like, you'll be, and be able to do it. Just interesting. And I do think that all the riders, the style has changed. You have Stewart from the 2000s that got everybody from the whole bicycle soaking up, like McGrath, because McGrath came from a bicycling background, a BMX background, so he was very good at soaking everything up, and that transitioned into his racing as to one of the reasons why he was the top dog for so long. And then you've got Bubba coming up here, changing where you're soaking up, but you're soaking up sideways, so you're leaned over sideways. And then now you've got these new riders, just the new generation of riders, and some of the older riders are picking up on the techniques where you've got the toes pulling it in, the knees really holding on to the bike, you're on your toes, you're not like on your heels or mid part of your sole, and you're keeping your feet on the pegs, because if your feet are around corners, that is, you're not sticking your leg out. If you're on the toes, yeah, those foot pegs are meant to fold up, but you won't have as big of a chance of having them rip off by being not on your heel, so that you have like, I don't know, you know, it's just all leverage, right? If you're on the top of your toes and it folds up, you just kind of lift the leg up, but if it's way down here, it's going to kick and it's going to twist you. It's interesting. It's interesting. Even in some of the really, really deep ruts, these guys are still on their toes, which is, it's probably good for balance, and it's probably good for energy wise. And then, you know, you might not twist your knee as much because it's not sitting out there all sideways. Like, I don't know, that was like a long digression to see that there's progression being made in riding styles. It's not just dropping your elbow being WFO, which that's kind of how it seems because these guys are going so incredibly fast. But that's really all I have to say about Redbud. I've got some other videos coming out to really dissect some of the things that I saw that was incredibly important. Oh, you did like that Jason Wigan was telling everybody listen to the crowd, and it was like one of these live errors because the whole crowd was saying F Joe Biden. I got a good hoot out of that. You know, I hope you guys got a good hoot out of that. And then, man, what's really going on with Kenny? He's dropping like the price of Bitcoin over here, and we need him to freaking, you know, go to the moon. You know, Shiba just buy the moon. We need him to finish the motos like he starts the motos, right? But, you know, digression over. Let me know in the comments below. Get involved. And who do you guys think is going to win Southwick? Wrong!